is News Talk 750, KFQD. You can call the show at 522-0750 or outside of Anchorage at 888-9090-750.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights.
News Talk AM 750 KFQD. You are with Kelly Lee Williams this morning from 8 to 11. My audition show. Thank you, Joe Campbell. Love you, man. Love you. I'll take care of your kid when he gets, around 7 or 8 years old. Right now, you don't want me near him because I drop babies. I don't carry babies anymore.
That's encouraging.
Isn't it? Well, you know what? That's what I had to tell my wife, so she doesn't even think about having another child. It's like, I will drop the baby. You don't want me to do that. Don't do that with me, all right? These other kids are enough, Just dress one of them, put a diaper on one of them and, pretend. All right? It's all good. You want to call into the show? It's 522-0750. If you're outside of Anchorage, 888-9090-750. Tax it. Regulate it. Legalize it. What am I talking about? Let's see. I think you know what I'm talking about. We're going to have a man on right now who wants to talk to you about protecting one of our rights. Or not our rights yet, who wants to make it a right. Let me read his mission. The mission of the Teapot Party is to end prohibition in the United States of America of the plant of the genus cannabis, primarily through legislative involvement, issue advocacy, research training, and educational activity. We're not talking about walking around and singing Give Peace a Chance in circles or anything. This is actual legislative work here. This is the Teapot Party. And the Teapot Party administrator is named Frank Rayburn. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you doing today? Thanks so much for having me on board.
Absolutely. I am excellent. I just talked to one of my heroes, so I am floating high, and I'm glad to have you on the show this morning. Well, floating high. Great choice of words. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great, eh? Congratulations. I understand this is your inaugural show today, right?
Yes, this is. This is the show that I've been waiting for 2 years and a couple of months change, and now I'm here and I got you right on here. So I thought I saw your Teapot Party page on Teapot Party page on Facebook, and I was like, interesting. And I wanted to get your ideas on what is your end game? What is your long-term goal? Because some people look at the Teapot Party and say, oh, it's just a bunch of hippies smoking weed and getting getting together and trying to, promote peace and love and all that. Let's get the word straight from the horse's mouth. Frank, what is the Teapot Party trying to do?
Okay, well first of all, Kelly, the cause of legalization of cannabis really, spans political, religious, ethnic lines. We're not a left or right party. What we are is we're trying to legalize cannabis. And what our goal is as a Teapot Party, as a national activist arm, is to work on the federal level. So our main goal to start off is to educate people and to counteract a lot of the misinformation, the fear-mongering, and just outright lies that have been told about cannabis for the last 70 years or so.
Frank Rayburn is the administrator of the Teapot Party. He is based in Utah. And how many Teapot Party factions are there down there just in Utah alone?
Well, in Utah, we just have the one. We're kind of a small state, not quite as small population-wise as Alaska, but there are under 3 million people here. This is a movement that's only about 4 months old. But nationwide, there are chapters in every state. And there are somewhere between, at least that I know of, 75 to 100 different chapters around the country.
Right on. So I'm gonna go back and read the mission statement that you had on it. Tax it, regulate it, legalize it. The mission of the Teapot Party is to end prohibition in the United States of America of the plant of genus cannabis, primarily through legislative involvement, issue advocacy, research, training, and educational activity. In other words, stop putting us in jail for smoking some weed. Is that pretty much what you're trying to say there?
Yeah, we believe that cannabis, as basically a harmless plant, has been lumped in with a lot of more dangerous substances, and that it should be legal, especially as a medication for people who really need it.
Absolutely. It is an absolute great medication for people who need it and for people who don't. But we won't talk about those people yet. But we were talking about your advocacy and how long have you been doing this? What made you decide to jump on this particular bandwagon I mean, did you have a personal experience where your house was raided and they got you a bunch of pot plants? What happened to you? What's your story, Frank?
Well, no, but of course that would be illegal. I've been in and out and involved and interested in this issue for well over 30 years since I was in college back in the early 80s.
Most have, yes.
And a lot of people have. The particular impetus for this movement, just really briefly, has to do with Willie Nelson. He got busted for cannabis possession down in Texas over the Thanksgiving weekend, and he did an interview where he called for some kind of party or organization that really needed to advocate for legalization. It really got a firestorm going. It's a movement. There are over 60,000 people on the Willie Nelson Teapot Party page. Like I said, there have been myriad of organizations that have popped up around the country to advocate this. And what we're trying to do at Teapot Party is to gel that into a political movement that goes beyond Facebook, goes beyond the Internet, and actually, starts raising money, raising funds, and actually doing something in an activist manner to change laws.
We're talking to Teapot Party Administrator Frank Rayburn. Tax it, regulate it, legalize it for the Teapot Party. You can give us a call at 522-0750 in Anchorage or 888-909-0750. If you're not in Anchorage, if you're on Facebook, go like the Teapot Party and go like my page, Kelly Lee Williams Comedian, because I have to ingest my narcissistic dues everywhere impossible in this show. So, Frank, you haven't met Willie Nelson yet, but you. We're gonna talk about you. When did you start smoking?
I started back when I was in high school, at about 17 years old in the mid-'70s. Did
you ever get busted for it? Did the cops ever come crack some skulls? Hey, hippie. Did you ever have any of those experiences back then?
I know a lot of people who have. I've been fortunate in not being, and not having that situation. I'm not a regular user at this point. I've moved on in a lot of ways. But, it's definitely an issue that is close to my heart, and I believe it's an injustice. There are so many people, especially young people, a lot of them ethnic minorities, such as young black and Hispanic men, in an overwhelming, in higher numbers than should be, that get thrown in jail for simple possession. Then they get, put into the whole prison culture, et cetera, and it changes their lives for no reason.
Absolutely. Hey, a pot advocate who doesn't smoke pot. Take that, Congress. You like that, huh? There's somebody that doesn't even smoke it is saying that you legalize it. So, you probably should listen to some people besides yourselves and look in the mirror. You probably smoke it yourselves, y'all pot-smoking Senate hippies. We're talking to, wow, what was I done with?
Well, I don't want you to think that I never... I never touched it.
Of course you have. I mean, you had to, or else you wouldn't know that it's not a gateway drug. Speaking of which, let's get to those lies that you were talking about. Give me the top 2 lies that the media, that people, that, quote, experts, end quote, spread to America to make people think that weed is bad. It's bad.
Okay. Well, one of the big ones, as I was talking about before, is that it's a gateway drug. And one of the problems is that this is a harmless natural plant that has been lumped in with a lot of dangerous substances, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine. And when you're dealing with people, whose business is to sell you these drugs, their business is also to sell you cannabis. So when they're selling you cannabis, you're either exposed to, or you're actually having these other substances actively marketed to you, which if it was only available in a state-licensed store, you wouldn't have that issue. Another thing is that actually cannabis has been shown, recent studies have shown, that cannabis is actually a useful tool for addicts to help them actually get rid of their addictions with recovery. It has been shown to block receptors, to relax you, etc. So, there's a myth that this is somehow a gateway drug. As a matter of fact, most people I know who've actually tried cannabis, they started out by either smoking or drinking alcohol.
Right, and drinking alcohol is far worse than smoking a little doobie, and that really needs to get stressed and pointed to. We're talking to Frank. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Absolutely, you're absolutely right, and we all know how many deaths have been caused by alcohol, by tobacco, prescription drugs. In the over 3,000 year history of cannabis, there has not been one recorded death
Right, and of course, the lobbyists for the cigarette people, the alcohol people, are keeping their products legal because they're paying off the Congress. We don't have the Teapot Party can't do it because we're smoking up all our money, so we can't really pay for the Congress for anything. So we need people like you on the front lines to fight that hard fight. Frank Rayburn, Teapot Party Administrator. What's your website? Do you have a website?
Yeah, we have a website that's going to be coming up in the next week or so. People can take a look at us on Facebook at facebook.com/Teapot Party Inc. That's INC as in incorporated. And you'll see our logo has an American flag with the Statue of Liberty holding a cannabis leaf. Right on.
Frank Rayburn, we appreciate you coming in and giving us some of your time and talking about something near and dear to some of our hearts. Frank, you have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks so much, Kelly.
Absolutely. Frank Rayburn, Teapot Party Administrator. If you haven't seen him on Facebook, please go over there and type in Teapot Party into the search and make friends and like their pages. And if you haven't, type in my name, Kelly Lee Williams, and make friends with me. I want to make friends with somebody who I haven't been friends with because I am needy and desperate for attention.